I'm gonna intro it like this. You're looking through Shakespeare. Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you've not watched my videos before, then hi, my name is Fleur. This is your space for all things self-development where we focus on growth, mindset and becoming the best version of yourself. So today we've actually got my friend Jess.
Hi.
She has her own YouTube channel which I'll put down in the description below. Please go check out her videos. She's got new ones coming out soon. And yeah, today we thought with our silly little pen mics, which is actually really fitting because we both do English and creative writing, that we were going to give you a guide all about university and just everything that we either wish we knew before we came, wish we knew while we were there, and the things that we learned. So yeah, let's get straight into the video. Okay, so segment number one is going to be everything that we wish we knew before we came to university. So the first thing that we're going to start off with is things that we didn't bring with us that we wish we did. Is there anything that you didn't bring with you that you wish you did, or that you didn't realise you needed to have?
You know what, like I actually feel like I got everything.
Damn, you're just that girl. You just got everything with you.
I don't know if I did or didn't, I can't remember. I think like, oh, you know what I forgot? A bath mat, a shower mat, and slippers.
Slippers, that's like the number one thing.
Yeah, well at the beginning of uni I remember like I literally was just in my flat and I kept having to like lace up my shoes every time I wanted to go in the kitchen.
Oh my god, I remember you doing that. I watched one of your YouTube videos. I was like, why is she putting her shoes on to go to the kitchen? I was like, maybe she just doesn't have slippers.
Oh my god.
I know the backstory
Literally.
now.
Oh my god, wow. Yeah, like I don't even remember that. But like, yeah, I think bring slippers, bring like, but then I also think actually on the flip side, I overpacked.
I think I did as well.
Yeah, like I brought like 3 like binder folders for English. Didn't need it. I only needed 1 in the end, but obviously it's gonna be different for every course. Seasonal clothes.
Yes, that's a good one. Seasonal clothes. And then also I would say, I mean this depends on like what room you are in more than the other, because you did say like you're more at home than you are at Lincoln, but I'm more in here than I am at home. Bring parts of your room that you know are going to help you to feel like you're home, because especially for me, leaving was such a massive thing. I'm such a family person, and even though my family home was chaotic, it was still hard to leave and like go off and be, because it's the first time you're going to be independent. So I would say print off some pictures of your friends, your family members, put them up, maybe put some fairy lights up, like a rug. Like you don't need to spend and drop all this money. I feel like with all of like these university videos of like room decoration and room tours, it can feel like your room's boring in comparison because you're not doing enough with your room. But as long as you're making it right for you, then that's all that matters. And definitely like seasonal clothing, like things that you know are going to make you feel comfortable, like clothes that are your favorites. Like always wear the things that make you feel good. And
also bring your passport, because
I didn't do that.
Did you not? Oh well, there was
I don't even have it here. I don't
Do you
have
not?
it. My mum has it.
I have mine because there was a couple of times I ended up needing it. If you ever need to prove your ID, or to be fair, people do drive, don't
but
they?
yeah, I had a provisional, I think, at the time.
Yeah, well I did too.
No, I did have my passport in first year,
You
because that was
did?
the only way that I could prove my ID. I remember once, story time, I went out clubbing with my friends, and I'm not a big clubbing person, which we will get to that later, and we forgot to bring our passports with us, so we queued for like an hour to get in. It was Halloween, so I only really ever go out for like seasonal times because it's, I don't know, fun. And we forgot our passports. We had to walk all the way back, and then when we got back we had to queue again because the guy wouldn't just let us go in. He knew that we'd queued, but he was like, no sorry, you need to go to the back. So yes, always bring your passport with you. If you don't have any other form, like don't just take a picture, because you might think it's enough because we had a picture on our phone, but it's not. I remember when I went round TK Maxx with my mum and my dad, like separately, just buying things. It can feel so exciting, but also at the same time it's really overwhelming because you realise like it's hitting in that like you're going to be alone. And I remember the first night I was alone when my boyfriend at the time and my mum went home. I was just crying because I was like, I'm in this room, I don't know, I'm like in this flat with people I don't know, they're all strangers, and it's scary.
It's
like,
crazy.
How did you like get over that?
Well, for the first like several months I was calling my mum and brother like every single day.
Yeah, it was the same with me as well. It's like,
Yeah.
you're gonna get sick of me.
Yeah, literally, like I I cried when I said goodbye to my brother specifically, because me and my brother are like best friends, and so I was like, I missed him like a lot. But I don't know. I think I remember how like it's kind of obviously like a mix of excitement and nerves when you're first there, and you're just like, I don't know, you're sleeping in a different bed. With a bunch of strangers, well not in the bed, but like
that'd be a bit worrying. You're all in the same bedroom, in the same bed.
All the flatmates, like, just come and sleep with me tonight.
Sleep over.
No, but yeah, I also had all girls in my first
Yeah,
year.
I did as well.
Did you?
You could choose if you had all girls or girls and guys. And I just, like, I always used to say this with Senny, that anyone that chose girls and guys, they were only there for one reason. Like,
Well, I did, and I had a boyfriend, so I was not picking for that reason.
Exactly, like I swear, like the stories that I would hear of people that did that, it'd be like they're going after one another and then they're breaking up and then they have to live in the same flat. And
No.
I remember there was this one guy and they had like they had this whiteboard in their kitchen of how many kisses or like they could get a week. I was like, what the hell is that
We
about?
had that, and I was not on this board because I was like, I'm in a relationship. Hello.
Well, that's different because you're in a relationship.
Exactly.
But even if you're not, like,
I thought it was really, really weird, actually.
Exactly.
Like, I think, yeah, maybe we're the minority in that situation, but I find that so bizarre.
it's like you go to uni and everyone expects you to be in your slut phase.
I know,
Like-
yeah. The party culture is quite, like, intensified. I chose to go with a mixed dorm, but it didn't happen for me. They gave me an all-girls dorm, but I was really annoyed about it because I wanted both, because I'd been in an all-girls school in high school.
It
and
can be traumatizing, to be
I
honest.
really wanted to have some male friends. So that was my reason, but it didn't end up happening. So.
Yeah, maybe it was a good reason.
I think it was a good thing, although we did have a really bitchy dorm, so I don't really
Really?
know. Mm-hmm.
Oh, let's talk about that actually. Flat drama.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. You don't realise how hard it is to live with other people until you're thrown into a flat to live with other people. Things like who takes out the trash, who's doing the hoovering. And I think you need to realise that not everyone is going to be the way that you are, in the way that you think, in the way that you behave, in the way that you clean, in how messy you are and how not messy you are. And that is how hard it's hard to live with other people that basically have their own minds.
I think it's surprising because in uni, like, everyone's a grown adult, and yet like
They're not though.
they're like
you
just
think
not.
they are, but you realise like generally because I grew up with a mum who made sure that I didn't leave the dishes in the sink, I didn't leave any crumbs. If there was, Fleur, come down, clean it. I was taught how to clean up after myself. And my mum always used to tell me, when you have your own house, I bet it's gonna be so messy. Going to uni, I had that mindset that I thought everyone would have been taught to behave like that and to clean up after themselves. But then you realise that some people just they've not seen a kitchen before.
Oh yeah, I had a really fun time learning to cook at uni.
That is a lot of fun, actually.
I mean, like, I obviously knew like very basics, but like, well, I knew like, you know, the basics, but then like at uni, it's more fun. I don't know. It became a hobby.
I think like it can be really scary, especially if you've like never cooked your meals before going to uni, to realise like you do have to cook everything, and it can be really scary. So I'd say like one thing I wish I could tell myself is that it is okay for you to not consistently be eating healthy food, because it's not necessarily cheap. Like I feel like it's so hard to always be eating healthy because it's so much more expensive. I feel like it's fun to be able to learn how to cook, and you're given your own space, so use it. And I know it can be scary to cook with other people in the same room, but everyone's in there for the same reason, to eat. There's some places where they're like with 15 people.
I know.
How many people were with you at?
10.
10?
Yeah, how many were you with?
5.
Oh my god.
10? How
Yeah.
did you find that?
It was a lot, actually. I found it very intimidating because I think I'm quite introverted. Like,
Yeah.
I can't work out what I am, but like, I definitely, I'm intimidated by crowds or like big groups of people, and especially when people are like big characters, and we did have quite a few bitchy people. So I did feel intimidated. It took me a long while to like warm up and feel comfortable with the people who weren't bitchy. Like I stuck to myself in first year for a lot of it, and then in like the March I started to like hang out with the people.
Yeah.
But I was very shy.
Even for living with like 4 other people, you don't know them, and it's weird that you're suddenly just pushed into this space where you're like living with people that you don't know, and everyone has their own mind, like I just said.
And we did not have enough space. Like there was 2 ovens for 10 people, and there was 2 fridges, but the fridges were tiny.
We had 2 fridges for 5 people. Like, what?
Yeah, it was like a little bit insane. Like, I had like a small fridge shelf, and I didn't have enough cupboard space. So I would say is like prepare to store some of your kitchen supplies in your bedroom, because in first year I did have to put my like saucepans and stuff in my bedroom.
Did you actually?
Yeah.
I actually didn't have to do that.
I literally had like shelves in my room and like my frying pans were on them.
What's funny is that when I first moved into my flat, my mum put my name on anything that was mine. Like, she labelled the freezer, the cupboard. I was like, Mum, you don't need to do that. Like, they'll know it's mine. And she's like, no, you need to do it. And then I couldn't take them off at the end. So I was like, well, this is great. So there's like remnants of like labels on the freezers. Oh well. I mean, honestly, like the place that we were at was already run down anyways. But I feel like try and get there as early as you can, because things will go fast, especially if you're in a place with a lot of people. Don't leave it last minute, because I think what is really great is you need to give yourself time to process the fact that you are alone before you start university. So if you're like showing up a day before classes start, you're not giving yourself enough time to unpack, but to get used to like where you are. So I feel like that's really important. Like, give yourself time to process where you are and make it a home before you start uni, because there's 2 things you're going through. You're going through the independence and you're going through being a university student, and you need to give yourself time to process both of them. But that's wild. I can say things about the party culture because I have been to a few clubs, and I feel that I don't like it. And what's so frustrating is this idea that people seem to think you're boring if you don't want to go out, or if you don't want to kiss a random guy or a random girl. Like, you're not boring for wanting to protect your peace. Like, there's nothing boring about that. But it seems to be this thing where it's like, if you would rather stay at home and read a book, you're a grandma. Like, I used to get called that a lot. Yeah. So there's no win. You can either enter it and then everyone's calling you boring for not wanting to be a part of it, or you cannot enter it at all like you did, and then still get called boring because you're not even giving it a chance. Yeah,
what I will say is, like, I kind of got written off by certain people in my first flat. Like, people would kind of just be like, she's boring, and then they like literally wouldn't try with me, which is kind of crazy.
That happened to me as well. They'd be like, oh, you don't want to go out with her because like, the thing is with me is I'd go out, but I'd want to go home by like 2 a.m. because I was bored of it. Like, I hated,
it's not even early.
Like, usually you go back at like 5 a.m. 2 a.m. for me, I'm asleep by then. Like, that's late for me. I get to 2 a.m. I'd be like, guys, I'm sorry, I have to go home. I've been out for 2 hours. This is long enough for me. Because I hated the fact that it was so stuffy and that everyone was like pushing against you. I had a few people like touch me in places I don't want them to have touched me in. I had this one guy pretend he was my boyfriend.
What, in a nice way or in
he grabbed my waist, started whispering
Ew.
things into my ear. I was like, who are you? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know who you are. It was just wild. I just think like, if you don't want to be a part of it, you're actually protecting yourself, and like, that's cool. Like, I think that's cool.
I don't regret not going, like, at all.
You didn't miss anything.
Yeah, I think like a lot of my friends who did go clubbing just didn't really have a good time, and yeah, I mean, I just never wanted to go, so I didn't go. But yeah, because sometimes I'm like, oh well, I do like dancing and I love loud music, but I just do it in my bedroom.
Yeah, exactly.
So I would say, like, try not to feel pressured. If people think you're boring, it kind of says a lot about them, like that they don't see anything else as fun.
Exactly, that's sad.
Which is sad. So I feel like, you know, follow your gut, do what you want. If you want to try it, go ahead. You might find it fun, you might not, and if you don't, it doesn't mean you're boring.
Exactly.
Like, do your thing, read your book.
Read your book.
Sip your tea.
You're gaining years. Like, you're gaining
Look at
years
my
in your life. The lack of wrinkles when they were just 21.
I know. Yeah.
But it's so true. Like, I've only been out like 4 times in the past 3 years, and the only times I really would go out is like once in freshers. I think people used to go out like every single day for freshers, and that was wild to me. Like, going out once killed me, and then I also got freshers flu, because like, if you don't know, freshers flu is basically like, well, you wouldn't have, because you didn't go to the clubs, and that's where everyone gets it. You spend time with all of these people that have come from all over the world and all over the country. Of course you're going to get flu, because literally you're like this close, like everyone is next to one another, and I hated that. And I just think it's like, if you don't want to be are part of it, then you don't need to. But if you want to give it a shot, like Jess said, then yeah, do it. Like I feel like maybe like going once so that you can know what it's like, but honestly I don't feel like if I hadn't gone I wouldn't have regretted it. What I will say is I like dressing up and taking pictures, but that's it. End it there. Like I don't actually want to go out anywhere. I'd rather go to like a karaoke bar. And I think it's what is so annoying is if you write off clubbing, that doesn't mean you don't like having fun. Like take me to a party with my close friends. I'd love that, but I don't want to go in a room full of people that are there for one reason and one reason only. I think people tend to seem to think that it's going to be so different from upper school, high school, whatever, but it's actually not that different.
No.
Like people are still as bitchy, people are still as pressurizing. I'm not trying to scare you. Like it is different in the sense that more people are mature and less people are bitches, but there are still going to be those kind of people that are like bullying you, which leads us on to class drama, like and like making friends. Like would you say that you found that easy?
I think I found making friends pretty difficult in first year because I think I take a long time to like break my walls down. Like if I go into a new place, I'm just kind of like, and then I keep to myself because I just feel so like I don't even know. But then in second year and third year I found it much easier to make friends because I just for some reason felt more comfortable. Like I was only living with 4 people in both second year and third year, and I just felt more comfortable to be like expressive or whatever. And then like and then it like bled into like classes as well. Like I just felt more comfortable to make friends on my course, so just my confidence switched around. I think if I'm in a like a house or even just a room full of like extroverted people, I will become the introvert in the situation, and it's the same the other way around. If I'm with a group of introverts, I will become the extrovert in the situation.
I like that as well, actually.
So,
I'm an extroverted introvert.
What does that mean? You're more introvert?
It basically means there's like different, you can be an introvert and an extrovert, but you could be an extroverted introvert or an introverted extrovert. But like you said, if I'm in a room full of extroverts, I can be introverted. But if I'm in a room full of introverted, I'll be the one that like speaks and like brings the party. Like it really just depends on how I'm feeling. And I feel like it can be really pressurizing when you're in a room full of people to feel like you need to pretend to be someone else to make friends, or like you're worried about like is someone gonna like me. But honestly, like everyone is in the same boat as you. Everyone is just as scared. Like just sit down and like ask someone their name or compliment their work, which I think is what I did with you. I think
why do I not remember when
I think the first thing I said to you was either saying that you were pretty or that I liked your writing. I think it might have been that you were pretty. I think that's one of the first things. And then I remember you saying one of the first things that you said to me was that you liked my nose, because I had said that I had like prior insecurities with my nose. And
was this online?
No, this was in person, like ages ago, like maybe a year or 2 ago. I have a really good memory when it comes to niche things like this, but not when it comes to like things I actually need to remember.
I have a really good memory as well, but for some reason when it comes to like when I first met friends, I just don't remember it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like,
because obviously like at that point we were strangers, so I didn't like log it, you know. But you
I am
did.
like that sometimes. It's special. But honestly,
sorry about that.
You'll find your people, and you don't need to find a whole group of friends. I feel like there's this misconception that you need to have like a 10 group of friends. I probably came out of university with like 3 to 4 really great friends, and that's it. And that's all you need. Like I feel like this, again, another misconception that university is the best years of your life, and you go to university thinking they're going to be the best years of your life. I'm not going to say they weren't, but they definitely will have been some of the best years of my life, but not the best years of my life.
Yeah.
They're like your growing phase. Like you come to university as a teenager and you come out as an adult, and you need to understand that that process and that transition is not going to be easy, and you will grow so much as a person, and it's going to be scary, but it's also fun. And whoever you find along that journey is special, but you don't need to pressurize yourself to be friends with people that you know aren't right for you.
Yeah. Like be intuitive. You know, like you don't have to be friends with everybody. I think you're right. Like there is definitely pressure. I think sometimes I feel that pressure to have like a big friendship group, or because otherwise it's like if you don't have a big friendship group, you're like it's somehow the complete opposite. Like you're just like lonely, but it doesn't have to be that way. You know, like don't sacrifice real true friendships for like quantity.
There's this really good quote on Pinterest I always see, and it's, if you're friends with everyone, you're friends with no one. I love that quote because it's so true. Like, you could be friends with everyone in the class, but that means that you're not truly friends with at least one of those people, because to be friends with someone is not just to know their name, it's to know everything there is to know about them. What kind of coffee do they order, or do they not like coffee like Jess? Like, when's their birthday? Like, what's their favourite colour? Actually, what is your favourite colour?
What's my favourite colour these days? I don't even know how old I am these days.
I actually had to guess what my name was the other day.
Right, did you land on the flat?
I did. Someone asked me, I was like, they asked me how to spell my surname, and I have to spell it out in my head because I don't remember.
Oh my god. My favourite colour, I think, I like a few. Oh, light pink.
You know, that's crazy. It was in my head.
Really?
I should have just said it. I knew it was going to be like a pastel colour.
Yeah.
You are like, I think of pastels with you. Like, for me, my favourite colour has always been yellow, which is very fitting. Like, that's what makes a true friendship, just to know as much as you can about someone, and you're always learning more about someone. And that's the beautiful part of it.
Yeah.
You don't feel like you have to know everyone.
Like, Flora and I literally love getting to know each other. Like, we'll have like daily interviews.
That's our pastime.
Yeah.
I think you should treat a friendship the way you would treat a relationship. I don't think it is any different. I think it's just like a platonic version of it, and I feel like, and there's this other misconception that friends are not as important, but they are, and even more important sometimes, I would say, because boyfriends and girlfriends might not be there forever, but friends will be, like that common saying. And it is so true that the people that will be there for you will always be there for you as long as you put the time into it.
Yeah. Like, friendships do deserve the same amount of time and energy, so be patient, everyone.
And what do you think about like moving away from like childhood friends? I don't actually have any childhood friends. All of my childhood friends, because I've moved so many times, I don't have any contact with them. But there's always this saying that if you don't stay in contact with your childhood friends, then you're not cool. But I feel like that's so weird, because I haven't stayed in contact with any of mine.
I think it's different for everybody. Like, whenever I see online like people being friends with their childhood friend, I feel very like, oh, I missed that, because I'm still in contact with some of my friends from primary school, but we're like nowhere near as close as we used to be, and I find it sad. But I think it's different for everyone, isn't it? Like, you're gonna fall out with different people or just drift apart from different people. It's so natural, and it's understandable that everybody, like, you know, that you grew up with, like, you grow apart, you change, everyone's different. I feel like I'm very different to a lot of the people that I grew up with.
And that happens a lot at university. You transition a lot as a person, and you change a lot as a person, and you will grow out of people so quickly that maybe even the friends that you made in first year will not be the same friends that you have in second or third year, and then that's okay.
Do you think you've changed a lot since you came to uni?
I'm not even the same person. I mean, like, the main reason is because I'm not in the relationship that I was in. Like, that's the main thing. But like,
your yellow back.
Everything, like, I used to wear, like, I was so edgy. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but like, everything about me that I am now is everything about me I would have hated 3 years ago.
Really?
For the reasons of the fact that I wasn't a happy person, and seeing the kind of person that I am now, wearing bright colours and being single for 2 years and not like wanting a relationship. Not to say like I do want to meet someone, but I'm not desperate for it, and I'm not actively going out of my way to find someone. Definitely I've changed completely as a person, and I think that's what uni is about, more so than getting the degree. What about
yeah, I think like probably the biggest way that I've changed is just my confidence in general. Like, I think everybody who knew me at the start, like, literally says, like, my nan, for example, was just like, you literally have become so confident, like, you're so different.
That's another thing, like, confidence, you become so confident.
Yeah, I think it's just because obviously uni forces you to be independent and to kind of like be more self-reliant. Like, you literally just got to handle everything yourself. It's like your first taste of living alone, obviously, so it's like, well, typically, but yeah, I think I've become more independent, more confident, less anxious. I think I've become like
a new person.
Yeah, like a better version. I feel like that's kind of the only thing though. Like, I don't think I've changed. I've become more mature.
I've become a better version of who I was, but I haven't changed as a person. I was always who I am today, but it was inside of me, and I wasn't allowing it to be external.
Yeah.
So
Hey, I've become more mature as well. Like, I
it's
feel
an
like
evolving process.
young adult, I guess. Look at me go.
I feel like everything that we're saying right now has actually deeped into segment 2, which is things that we've realised while being in university. And I feel like that is probably like one of the main things, that you will realise that you're changing so much as a person, and that will scare you at first, but you have to allow it to happen and allow it to be part of the process, because before you know it, like, this is another thing that I guess I wish I knew, it will go by so fast. And my dad always used to tell me that, like, don't worry, like, it'll be over tomorrow. And I'd be like, haha, no it won't, 3 years is a long time.
Yeah.
But generally, like, they were the fastest 3 years of my life.
Absolutely.
Like, they go by so quickly, so please just, like, if you're just about to move to university, which I'm guessing, like, the majority of the people watching this will be, like, just soak it all in and remember that you need to be present in every single moment that you have. And even if you're in a lecture that you actually hate, because we've been in many of those, or that you find boring, like, you'll miss those, honestly.
Yeah. I think it's really important to be, like, grateful for every phase of life you're in. Not to say that you can't acknowledge that some phases of life are absolute shit, but
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know, sometimes, like, I think sometimes it's very helpful to just be grateful. Like, there's been times where I've been like, I can't wait for uni to be over, because I just want to go home, I miss my family, I miss my boyfriend, like, I'm long distance from everyone, like, from in my life that I had before uni. I'm long distance from every single person, so
Yeah, same here.
yeah, so I'm like, I miss them, I want it to end. But then I had a perspective shift this year, and I was just like, soak it all in, be grateful, this is literally the last time of my life I'm ever going to be here. For example, like, the friends I have here, not so much you, because we actually live closer.
We're basically neighbours.
Yeah, but a lot of friends here, I'm not going to be seeing this regularly ever again in my entire life. So,
Yeah,
like,
same.
make the most of it, you know? But also, guys, no pressure, because, like, you know, you're human, you got to take it in your stride. Things are going to rock you at uni, but it's okay. Like, it was better than I thought, in a way.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think one of the major things that I learnt is that oftentimes, and speaking to loads of different people in my life as well, it's oftentimes much lonelier than you think.
Yes,
it
is. Oh my god. But that's because, and I think this is the only reason why we don't go clubbing. Like, that's...
Do you think that's why?
I think that is part... But then again, I don't know. See, this is my point on it. People go clubbing because they feel lonely.
I think they're the loneliest.
But then they realise that they can't fix their loneliness by going clubbing, because they're surrounded by people that they don't want to be around.
Yeah.
So everybody's lonely. Like,
And by the
everybody
way,
is in the same boat.
I do think that also, like, we're definitely generalising, because you might love clubbing and be
Yeah,
the
exactly.
happiest person on earth, and good for you.
Like, that's good for you.
Yeah, like I'm not saying everyone who goes clubbing is lonely.
Yeah.
Like, not at all, but we're just generalising.
Yeah, you're just generalising, because then also you could say that people that love clubbing would say the same thing about us.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I actually love being by myself, and I think in first year I struggled so much with being lonely, and I was in a relationship in that point in my life, so I was also struggling with long distance, which I know you're struggling with. And then when I came out of my breakup, that was the worst year of my life, which was second year, because I was struggling with the fact that I was going through a breakup, but I was away from everyone that made me feel better about myself. And it's going to be hard, but I think sometimes you need to go through these years where you're feeling lonely, because, as I always say on my channel, that's how you find yourself, and that's how you come out a more confident, better version of yourself. Like, you have to be alone sometimes.
Yeah, I think uni is, like, very formative years. Like, you come to, like, obviously just figure things out on your own, because sometimes when I'm going through hard things, I'm like, I miss my family, I miss the comfort of, like, the familiarity of my home, because it's like everything else is just a bit scary, you know?
Yeah.
But have you liked uni overall, do you think?
I have. I think if I had to do it all over again, I would do. And I've been asked so many times by a professor, like, if you had to do all this again, would you? And I definitely would, because I think if I didn't do it, then I wouldn't be who I am now. You don't even need to think that you're going to be doing something with your degree for it to have been useful. You don't need your degree to be of use, typically, to see value in those years. And I know it is a lot of money, but it is worth it, I think. And I have said this to people who have asked me, should I go to university? I don't think anyone can answer that question but you, and if you don't think it's right for you, then that is your answer. Now, don't write it off straight away. There are a lot of people who go to university and then quit and that's fine. It's not for everyone, and I think the issue is that society has made it seem like it has to be for everyone and everyone has to take that path. But if you know it's not right for you, you can't force it to be right for you. Would you?
Yeah, I do. I definitely think it's worth it. I always wanted to go to uni. I always wanted to go to uni, and I'm very happy that I did, because I think I've got like I wasn't done with education, but like now I am.
Now, yeah, that's exactly how I feel. Like, I wasn't done when I finished with A-levels, but now I'm like, I can't. Like, honestly, people that are going further, hats off to them. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
I'm so tired.
I know, definitely ready for it to be over, but like have really enjoyed it overall, I think. Like, first year was the worst of the three, then it got better.
Yeah.
And third year has been my favourite, because I think I just felt like overall more settled and more
You're
balanced.
in your new version of you as well.
Yeah.
Whether in first year you're just scared of everything. And I will say that another lesson I learned while at university is that the workload from first to second year is so brutal. Like, you don't realise, because first year is all about getting settled in, so it's sort of like low. It's very similar to A-level. Like, let's say, for example, you studied English in A-level, you're doing English in university. For at least half of the time you're doing first year, they're just sort of covering the rude. They're just sort of covering the basics but extending it. Whether the workload will get increased in second year, but at least it will be stagnant from second year to third year. And I definitely felt that workload increase, and it did stress me out quite a lot.
Yeah.
And especially because a lot of people say first year doesn't matter, but I don't think that's how you should think about it.
Yeah, that's actually something that I think, like, I took that to heart when people said like first year doesn't matter. I was like, okay, sweet. And I actually did better in first year than I did in second year.
Maybe because you didn't have that pressure.
Oh yeah, I took it to heart, because I was like, I don't know, I was just like, okay, first year doesn't really matter. So I didn't put as much effort in, I think, as I should have. But then by that, I don't even know. I can't remember the details. But I did worse in second year academically, because I think I was burnt out.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just was annoyed.
That's a great way to put it.
Also, second year though, the subjects, didn't like them.
Yeah, I don't think I did either, to be fair.
Modules.
First and third year was definitely my favourite. For me, I actually didn't get onto the bachelor's programme, I got onto a certificate, because what ended up happening is in my A-levels, I got BCE, I failed in music, and because of that, the university only let me in on the condition that I passed first year. So for me, it actually mattered everything. Oh. And if I didn't pass, then I couldn't stay on. And the reason why I failed music is because we had our teacher left, and then we had someone else come in for us, and they didn't like my work, which my other teacher said promised would never happen, and I had to redo everything a month before it was due in, which was so unfair.
How
because
unfair?
like, just because he didn't like it. But my other teacher had said that wouldn't happen and it would be fine, and I spent 4 months working on that, because we had to create our own piece, and I made a classical piece to go over a scene in one of the Studio Ghibli films I loved, and I created a whole like piece for it. And he didn't like it, so I had to create a new one. Now, writing a piece of music is not easy. Like, music is actually the hardest subject I've ever taken. So anyone that takes music, again, hats off. It's so hard.
It's so hard.
It is so hard. Like, the theory behind music is not even funny. So I got on a certificate, and if I didn't get a pass, I wouldn't go on to second and third year. Like, obviously I did. I got 2-1, and then that meant that I went straight to a bachelor's, but technically speaking, I wasn't a bachelor's until second year. So while everyone was saying first year didn't matter, I was over here freaking out because it was the most important year for me, because if I didn't pass, I wouldn't stay on the course. Wow. So I think actually having that mindset saved me, because I worked so hard in first year that when I got to second year, I wasn't stressing out, or I didn't feel burnt out, because I was already working hard. So it just kept going for me. I was like, okay, that's fine. I'm used to this. I'm just going to keep going. So I think you need to have a balance, knowing first year does matter, because even if the grade doesn't matter, it's the foundation to the second years that like the 2 years that you're going to have after that, or the 3 years, because I know there are courses that are 4 years long. So you just need to remember that you need to treat it as if it's any other year, but then also allow yourself to have balance, and don't feel like you're pressurizing yourself too much, because then you might get burnt out.
I think maybe like your priority in first year should be figuring out like the balance and how you're going to handle the workload, Because I think like I was a little bit more concerned with my grades than the balance, and I think that's why I felt a bit more like burnt out in second year, because I hadn't established that balance. And then in third year I did finally establish the balance, and it was the best year because I had like a better social life and better academic life because I balanced them. So yeah,
balance is key.
I think also there's a surprising amount of people in uni who like don't care about the academics of it.
But it is hard work. It's the hardest level of academic that I've ever done. And it makes sense.
They don't hold your hand at all either.
No, it's so independent. Again, that's another thing I wish I knew.
Yeah.
It is independent, and you are not going to get told how to get first. You're not gonna. I remember they didn't tell us how to write an essay in first year. We just had to figure it out ourselves.
I know.
It's like, what the hell? Like, it's completely different, and you literally just have to figure it out by yourself. And I know the reason why they do that is because they're trying to train you for real life.
Oh my god, should we give essay advice like quick fire?
Yeah, go on then.
Okay, my essay advice to get first, which I have never actually gotten, but
I have got a first in creative writing, but not
well,
in
same, but in the
English is so
essays,
hard.
I've gotten high 2-1s, and I have asked my professors how to get a first.
Yes, same
but
here.
I feared that I didn't. Well, I fear I didn't have the time. Well, whatever. I can make excuses.
I mean, I'm sure we'll get there. We don't know.
Take my advice. Okay, basically, look at the mark scheme, which I actually never did.
I never did that.
Yeah.
I did, but
Well, I did not ever.
I didn't really though. Look at the mark scheme, guys.
Talk about structure, talk about form. Oh, this is English essay advice, by the way.
Yeah, because we don't do exams, so if you do exams, that's a bit different.
But yeah, talk about form, talk about audience, talk about all the stuff that's like surrounding the content, close analysis, balanced with critical sources. Yes, everybody, there you go.
Yes. One thing my teacher told me, which is actually more for a critical reflection than it is an actual essay, but I actually think this could be said for any essay, is you have to pretend that the person you're writing the essay for doesn't know anything about what you're talking about, and you are holding them by the hand and you are taking them through every single section of your essay. And one thing that confused me was thesis statement. I was so confused. I got to first year, I was like, who is a thesis statement? Like, they make it sound so complicated. All it is, guys, is a roadmap. That's all it is. You just need to say, okay, in this essay, I'm going to be discussing blah, 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 in this way, and then bam. You need to make sure that you, like, a lot of people would say, like, and professors would say, write your thesis statement last, because then you know exactly what it is that you have written in your assignment, and then you know, okay, I started with this, and I went on to this, and I went on to that, and then your thesis statement needs to be exactly what you've said. If you say your thesis statement is to, I don't know, take you to the park, then the roller coaster, then I don't know, and then you're taking them to the swimming pool, they're gonna get confused. They're like, well, that's not where you told me we were going to the theme park, like, why are we in the swimming pool? You need to show up on what you've said. And treat it like that person doesn't know anything about what you're talking about, but then also like they're not stupid at the same time, because if you go into everything, then that's a bit much. Like, the examiner does know what you're talking about, but you need to show that you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, also do like put context in the introduction.
Yes.
Top tip from me.
I usually start with context, actually.
Yeah.
My first sentence will usually be context about whatever era I'm writing about. Now, again, this is focused on English, but I feel like that's important. You need to, I would always struggle with the balance, and I would do this thing where I had so much on my mind, and the reason why I wouldn't get first is because I wouldn't detail it enough, because I would be dropping too many things and not going into it because I had too much to say.
That's what I did.
Or, another thing, I would write a 3,000 word essay for a 2,000 word essay and cut out 1,000 words because I didn't have enough space, and then they would tell me off for it not being detailed enough, even though I couldn't surpass the word count. What is that about? It's so annoying.
Yeah.
You could have had my extra 1,000 words, but you didn't want them. So honestly, if you are consistently stuck on 2-1s and you wish you could get first, don't pressure yourself. Like, it's not easy. Following advice for things like this can't always be the best way to go around it, because you work so differently compared to everyone else. But I think something that I noticed is that, considering the fact I didn't do great in my GCSEs or my A-levels, I had so much academic pressure in university, and the way that everyone treated themselves in school was how I was treating myself in uni. And I've never been so harsh to myself in my whole life that when I would get a 69 I would cry because I didn't get a 70. Like, I was so pissed off with myself, because I've had 69 since first year, just like 65s to 69s, and it was always a 69.
Yeah.
I was like, are you kidding me? Like, it's annoying. People would tell me like, oh, 69 is good, why are you complaining? But when you've had it for 3 years straight, you don't feel like you're progressing.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I'm writing the same work I did in first year because I'm getting the same grade, even though I know I'm not. And I just feel like you pressure yourself so much to be the best of the best. But it's not easy, and you have to remind yourself that as long as you are trying the hardest, and my dad always tells me this, as long as you tried your hardest, which you'll know if you did or you didn't, then there is nothing more that you can do. But if you know you didn't try your hardest, then that's what you do next time, and then you will see progress. Don't be like embarrassed to go and speak to someone about your work, and don't feel like you have to be getting 2 2s or below that to then want to go and get help. Like, you can be getting 2 1s and still want to get help. Like, I feel like people seem to think that when you get 2 1 you shouldn't need to want to do better, but that is not right. Like, you can always want to do better, and you can always want to improve, and there's nothing wrong with that. But don't feel embarrassed for wanting to have help. Use your resources. That's another thing I definitely learned. Use the library. I didn't use the library as much as I should have.
Yeah,
use your professors, your tutors, the people around you. Ask for help, and don't feel like you're failing because of it.
Genuinely ask, because they're not going to give it to you. Like, in uni, they won't give it to you.
They won't give it
to
you. You have to ask. Okay, so now that we're done with university, we're both going to share what we firstly think was our most important lesson that we learned, and then also what our future plans are. So what do you think is the number 1 lesson that you've learned at university? Where's your pen gone?
My most important lesson, I think...
I've just asked you this question, but I don't know the answer.
Yeah.
I need to think about it.
I think there's probably 2 things.
Okay.
The first one was the value of balance, which I kind of knew anyway, but I think it's especially important in uni because you're literally in control of all of it. Like, so many people don't even show up to class. I would say show up to class.
Yes, please, show up to class.
Make the most of the fact that you're actually spending money to be here, like quite a lot of money.
50 to 60 pounds per class.
Yeah, so like go to class and yeah, just figure out what works for you. Like, you know, different times of day, like working at different times of day works for different people. Balance, make sure you see your friends, try to ensure that you don't burn out. Obviously, it's human, it happens, but yeah, balance, very, very important. And the second thing is to not go into uni with too many expectations about really anything, because the experience is very subjective. It's different for everybody, and some people absolutely love it. Like, for some people it is genuinely the best years of their life. For most people though, it's not. Like,
that's true.
It's a lot more lonely sometimes. Like, I think I haven't even felt like particularly homesick, but I do feel quite lonely, like not hearing my mum like pottering about downstairs.
For the first 3 months I was very homesick, and then after that I was just lonely, and I feel like you think it's gonna go away, but it doesn't ever really go away. It's just how you learn to live with that.
It's an adjustment. And remember, like, human beings are adaptable. Like, you are fully capable of doing this. Like, you can adjust to anything. There's nothing you can't do. Like, you got this, guys. Like, it will be fine. You will have fun, and even if sometimes it's not fun and sometimes it's a bit lonely, just think it's part of the process. You know, it will teach you something, like every experience will, and you'll probably get some nice things out of it. Like, I got a lot of help and advice.
I would say my number 1 lesson is to be present, and to not wish away time, or to not want to go back in the past, just to be where you are right now. Because I think when you're at university, you'll think so much about where you have to go in the future because they put you in that position, but then you'll also be thinking so much about the past, and it's so annoying because before you know it, the 3 years will be over, and you will wish that you could have just properly lived in the moment. So live in the moment, be in the present moment, just enjoy it. Like Jess said, like, take what you want to take from it. Everyone's experience is unique, and yeah, you're going to be so proud of yourself when you have grown into the person that you'll be growing into. So
yeah. So what's your plans for after uni?
I find so much joy in doing YouTube, and I spoke to my parents, and I'm going to be focusing on it. So that's my goal. It seems crazy. It's like, oh my god, everyone wants to be a full-time YouTuber these days, but I'm not doing it for the money. I'm doing it because I generally get so much joy from making these videos. What about you? I'm going to take a gap year and just try and put things on my CV, I guess, and do a bit of travelling. And then after that,
try and go into publishing and hopefully be an author. That's my ultimate goal.
Where would you like to go into publishing?
Electric Monkey. Have you heard of them?
No.
It's like YA. Basically the genre that I would want to do. Like YA. Kind of everything actually. It's the YA version of HarperCollins. So yeah.
That's so cool. You've got big things coming. Like, I feel like there's another pressure where like when you finish university you need to know exactly what you want to do. But I just want to say that like everybody I know, only maybe 2 out of 10 of those people know what they want to do after university. And the whole point is that university, although it seems like it's meant to give you an idea of what you want to do for the rest of your life, no one actually knows what they want to do for the rest of their life, and that's okay. It's something that you will learn across the journey, and this video is just here to help you with your journey, but don't feel like you have to be pressured to know. I only figured out what I wanted to do after university like a few months before it was going to end, and I feel like there's this pressure to do the conventional thing, but if you don't want to, then don't.
Yeah, and your mind's going to change and then it's going to change again.
Yeah,
and that's okay.
I wanted to be an English teacher 3 years ago.
Did you?
Yeah, I wanted to be a professor.
Ooh.
And then I was like, actually, I don't want to do that to myself. I don't want to be an academic for the rest of my life, but hats off to teachers, because honestly they are heroes. They genuinely
deserve
are
more
heroes.
money.
They do. Like, they really do.
Yeah.
But yeah, any lasting points?
Good luck. That's about
Good
it.
luck.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for watching this video. If you watched to the end, and then put this emoji in the comments, and again I'll put Jess's YouTube in the description below, so definitely check out her videos. And my YouTube videos come out every single Sunday at 12 PM, so I'll see you next Sunday. Bye bye, my lovelies.